All right, welcome back to the Explainer. Today, we're popping the hood on the modern Windows operating system. You know, most of us just interact with the shiny, user-friendly dashboard, the Settings app. But tucked right away beneath all of that, almost like it's hidden on purpose, is the true engine room of your PC, the Windows Control Panel. Even as we push further into the era of Windows 11 and modern Windows servers, this centralized hub is still an absolute powerhouse for administration.
So you might be wondering, why even bother with a classic legacy tool when Microsoft is aggressively pushing everybody to the newer Settings app? Well, it really boils down to raw power and control. The Settings app is fantastic for basic, everyday, touch-friendly tweaks for sure. But the Control Panel, that holds the keys to advanced configurations, legacy compatibility, and deep enterprise management utilities that simply haven't made the jump over yet.
Here's how we're going to break this down today. First, accessing the hidden hub. Second, system security and power. Third, networking and connectivity. Fourth, managing hardware and software. Fifth, admin tools and customization. And finally, why the pros still rely on it every single day.
Let's jump straight into part 1, accessing the hidden hub. Because Microsoft really wants you using the new Settings app, you aren't exactly going to find a giant control panel button sitting right on your desktop anymore. Now, IT pros might use the Run command or dig through File Explorer, but the absolute easiest, quickest way in? Just hit your Start menu, type Control Panel, and click the app.
As you can see, the second you type it into the search bar, the classic app pops right up as your best match. You're literally just 3 quick keystrokes away from bypassing the modern Settings app entirely.
Now check out this stark contrast between the two main views. On the left, we've got the default category view. It's nicely bucketed and super beginner-friendly. But over on the right, that's the large icons view. This lays out every single tool individually, and it is highly preferred by system administrators because it gets you exactly where you need to be with 0 extra clicks.
Moving right along to Section 2, System, Security, and Power. Right at the top of this category, we find Windows Security, and specifically the Defender Firewall. This is absolutely crucial. It lets you completely separate your inbound and outbound traffic rules based on your network profiles. So you can set up strict rules blocking connections on a public network, like a coffee shop, while still letting apps communicate freely on your private home network.
Also tucked right into this section are power options. And hey, these are definitely not just for generic Office PCs. They let you tweak sleep states, hibernation, and CPU power, which is surprisingly vital if you're running a high-performance gaming rig that needs maximum output, or a laptop where battery life is king. It's even a lifesaver for older hardware, like Intel-based MacBooks running Windows. You just swap between balanced, high-performance, or power saver right there.
All right, let's hit Section 3, Networking and Connectivity.
When you open the Network and Sharing Center, you are getting raw mechanical control over your network interfaces. Clicking into your adapter properties lets you enable or disable interfaces right on the fly and dig into vital protocols like IPv4, IPv6, and your DNS servers.
A perfect example of why you'd need this menu is setting a static IP address. Knowing how to manually punch in an IP like 192.168.1.50 along with a subnet and standard gateway is basically a mandatory skill if you're managing server labs, setting up virtual machines, or messing around in packet tracer environments. Modern settings menus can feel super clunky for this, but the control panel keeps it straightforward and fast.
Next up, Section 4, Managing Hardware and Software.
The undisputed crown jewel of this entire section is the device manager. If your GPU, your storage controller, or some random USB device starts acting up, this is literally the absolute first place an IT technician is going to look. It gives you this massive tree of every single piece of hardware on your system, letting you update drivers, roll back broken ones, or scan for hardware changes.
Imagine a network adapter is just behaving poorly. A simple right-click pulls up a context menu where you can instantly update the driver for that wireless adapter, disable the thing entirely, or completely uninstall the device to force a fresh install. It's professional-level troubleshooting made incredibly easy. Beyond physical hardware, the Programs and Features menu doesn't just uninstall software. It actually unlocks hidden capabilities inside the operating system itself. Under Turn Windows Features On or Off, you can enable advanced optional components like the Hyper-V virtualization platform, SMB file sharing, or even the IIS web server.
Moving deeper into the engine room, here's Section 5, Admin Tools and Customization.
Customization here is about way more than just picking a pretty wallpaper. The Ease of Access Center provides vital tools like the narrator, magnifier, and high contrast modes that are essential for accessibility. Plus, if you jump into File Explorer options, you can change search behaviors and force Windows to show hidden files and their extensions. Advanced users pretty much always turn this on. Being able to see the true file extension is a massive help when you're trying to spot those sneaky malware scripts masquerading as standard documents.
Another absolute cornerstone of your admin toolkit is the Event Viewer. You'll find it under what modern Windows calls Windows Tools, and it essentially acts as your ultimate diagnostic logbook. Anytime an application crashes, a security audit fails, or a system service hangs out of nowhere, a log is generated right here. It is indispensable for figuring out exactly why your computer just threw an error.
And that brings us to our final section, why pros still use it.
It's really a tale of two different tools. As you can see, the modern Settings app easily wins out on touch friendliness and overall ease of use for the average consumer. But the Control Panel? It completely dominates when we're talking about advanced enterprise tools and legacy application support. It just gives you way faster access to the deep mechanical layers of the OS. In fact, to make their workflows lightning fast, IT pros rarely even bother clicking through all these menus. They just hit the Windows key plus R to bring up the Run command, and then fire off these specific rapid-fire shortcuts. Typing Control opens the panel. devmgmt.msc instantly launches the device manager. ncpa.cpl drops you straight into your network adapters. And appwiz.cpl opens up programs and features. These shortcuts bypass the modern UI entirely and drop you right into the pilot seat.
The Control Panel really does remain one of the most vital parts of Windows. Getting comfortable with it is a massive step in developing real-world, professional-grade troubleshooting skills. So the next time your PC starts acting up, a driver crashes, or your network suddenly drops, are you going to stay stuck on the shiny dashboard, or are you finally ready to open up the engine room and fix it yourself? Thanks for tuning into this explainer, and keep exploring.